Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to another PMI webinar for the MENA region. If you haven't had a chance to meet through one of our events or chapter activities across the region, my name is 𝗪𝗲 𝗟𝗲𝗱𝗏. I'm the Managing Director for Middle East and North Africa at the Project Management Institute, PMI, and I'm honored that I will be your host tonight. Thank you once again for joining us for what we call 𝗪𝗲 Ramadaniyya, or last of the Ramadan series that we have. Ramadan gatherings always bring different kind of energy. It's more about reflection, about our community and building more of the community. And tonight's conversation is a special one. As we continue to recognize International Women's Day, we are joined by 6 remarkable women's leaders who serve as the presidents of the PMI chapters across the Middle East and North Africa. Together, they represent communities from across the Gulf, Levant, and North Africa, and they bring leadership journey that spans in engineering, infrastructure, digital transformation, technology leadership, and strategic consulting. Before we get started, I would like to also do a quick check-in. I'm joining you today from Dubai, so just to kind of get yourself familiar with the chat area, drop me a line in the chat and let us know where you're joining us from, like which city or country. I'd love to see where you're joining us today, hopefully across Middle East and North Africa or beyond. But I'm also curious, I'd love to know, what is your latest PMI certification that you acquired, or what are you currently working on at this point? Across many parts of our region today, we are navigating difficulties, uncertain moments, and before we continue, I just want to acknowledge that and extend our sincere hope for safety, stability, and peace across all of our community. Before we begin our conversation, we are honored to have someone special joining us for tonight for the welcome remarks. Pierre Le Manh, our President and CEO. Pierre, it's always a pleasure to have you with us and our PMI community, especially here across Middle East and North Africa. Your leadership continues to highlight our profession and shows it's evolving and the important role project leaders play in shaping organizations and communities around the globe. We truly appreciate you taking the time today with us. Floor is all yours.
Thank you, 𝗪𝗲. Hello, everyone. Good evening to our PMI MENA community. This is a real pleasure to be with you today. And it's especially meaningful to gather at the moment when we celebrate International Women's Day and recognize the leadership and impact of women across our profession. So to everyone joining us from across the region, our chapter leaders, our volunteers, our members, our partners, thank you. Your commitment is what makes PMI a truly global and vibrant community. I would like to start by recognizing the 6 PMI chapter presidents that 𝗪𝗲 mentioned, who are joining us today. We have Riam Chazbeck, President of PMI Lebanon, Amina Abdul-Rahim, President of PMI UAE, Dr. Tahani Ado-Semani, President of PMI KSA, Imen Fakfer, President of PMI Tunisia, Sarah Chetwi, President of PMI Morocco, and Nadia Borshek, President of PMI Jordan. Thank you for your leadership. Chapters are the backbone of PMI. They bring the profession to life locally. They connect people, they develop talent, they build communities where project professionals learn from each other and grow. And in a region as dynamic as MENA, that role is particularly important. International Women's Day is, of course, an opportunity to celebrate achievements, but it is also a moment to reflect on leadership. Across industries, across regions, women are leading complex initiatives that drive transformation and that shape the future of organizations. The 6 leaders joining us today are the epitome of leadership. They are not only leading chapters, they are mentoring the next generation of professionals and strengthening the project profession across the region. And this matters because the world itself is changing very quickly, as we can experience. We are living through a period of constant reinvention. Technologies are evolving at incredible speed. Entire industries are being reshaped. Geopolitics and economics are becoming more unpredictable. Organizations everywhere are adapting their operating models faster than ever before. And in fact, a vast majority of senior leaders now say they need to rethink how their organizations operate every 2 to 5 years. That is an incredible challenge. And it puts projects at the center of everything critical to the future of businesses and of society. This is why the project profession matters so much. Projects are how strategies become reality. They are how organizations build infrastructure, launch digital platforms, transform industries, and create economic opportunity. And this is particularly visible across MENA. Across the region, we see extraordinary ambition. Countries are investing heavily in national transformation agendas, major infrastructure programs, smart cities, energy transitions, digital economies, large-scale development initiatives that are reshaping entire societies. From Vision 2030 in KSA to the UAE's continued investments in innovation and technology, to major infrastructure and economic initiatives across North Africa, these are some of the most ambitious transformation programs happening anywhere in the world today. None of them happen without projects, which means none of them happens without project professionals. And this is even more true when conditions are particularly unstable and unpredictable, as unfortunately they are at the moment, and require agility in the execution while still staying focused on the vision. This is where PMI plays a role. Our purpose is simple. We maximize project success to elevate our world. We support professionals with the capabilities, the community, the leadership development they need to successfully deliver transformations. Chapters play a critical role in that mission. They connect professionals locally. They create learning opportunities. They build networks of expertise. And they help elevate the profession across industries. Today, we'll talk about diversity. PMI's research confirms something many of us have experienced firsthand. Teams with diverse backgrounds and experience perform better. In our research report, Broader Perspective, Stronger Outcomes, we found that highly diverse project teams are about 25% more likely to achieve above average profitability. Organizations with inclusive cultures also report stronger innovation and better project performance. But beyond the data, the reason is common sense. When teams bring together different perspectives, they make better decisions. They see risks earlier, they challenge assumptions, they design solutions that serve a broader set of stakeholders. So diversity is a competitive advantage. Project professionals are uniquely positioned to unlock that advantage. Projects bring together engineers, technologists, business leaders, policymakers, designers, and many others. Different disciplines, different cultures, different perspectives. And the role of the project leader is to align all of that around a shared goal. And when that happens well, extraordinary things become possible. Innovation accelerates, execution improves, organizations deliver more value. This is also why inclusive leadership matters. The best leaders create environments where people feel trusted, heard, empowered to contribute, where different ideas can surface, where teams solve problems creatively rather than defensively. These are the kinds of leadership qualities that allow complex projects to succeed. And these are qualities we see strongly represented across the PMI community in the MENA region. So today, as we celebrate women leaders across our profession, we should also reflect on the responsibility we all share to mentor the next generation, to sponsor emerging talent, to create opportunities for others to grow. Because leadership is not about personal success. It is about enabling others to succeed. So let me close with one simple observation. PMI exists because of its community, because of volunteers, because of chapter leaders, because of professionals who believe in the power of projects to create positive change. Your work helps organizations transform. Your leadership advances our profession, and your commitment strengthens this extraordinary global community. So thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being here today. And I'm looking forward to the conversation and to celebrating the leaders who are shaping the future of project management across MENA. Enjoy the event.
Pierre, thank you for those thoughtful remarks and for taking the time to join us tonight as the PMI community across Middle East and North Africa. I was looking at the chat. You can see the interaction. I feel it means a lot coming from you. And I love one part that resonates with me is about passing this on to the next generation. And that's very important for all of us. And I'm pleased as we go through the conversation, we're going to hear more about that, of how can we continue this conversation. I know your schedule is incredibly busy and we managed just to pull you for this one. So really appreciate it. Feel free to drop off. I'm going to send you the recording after this and we'll see how this will go. Thanks once again, Pierre.
Thank you very much.
So, and with this, we're going to turn into our leadership from across the community, from across different areas, from the Middle East, again, Levant and North Africa. Before we begin this discussion, I'd like to invite everyone joining us tonight, listen not only to the answers, but to the leadership journey behind them. Because leaders, as Pierre mentioned, joining us tonight, are not only managing projects, they are building the communities and strengthening the profession across our region. So let's start with the first part, and I'd like to hear about your leadership journey. I'm going to start with Levant. Joining us from Lebanon, Riam Chazbeck. She is the president of the PMI Lebanon chapter, and she's a project leader with more than 15 years of experience in engineering, construction, and project consulting. So Riam, let's start with you. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. I'd love to know from you what shaped your leadership journey in project management and what motivated you to lead PMI Lebanon chapter.
First of all, thank you, Hani, for this opportunity and PMI MENA. This is really inspiring for everybody in this community. To be honest, one of the biggest lessons I've learned earlier in my career is that growth, it comes from continuously learning and challenging yourself. Like if you want to evolve, you need to keep on chasing opportunities, especially the ones that seem very difficult. And those challenges, they often mean that you will fail and you will keep on failing, but nevertheless, it will accelerate how quickly you can learn and develop. And as Pierre mentioned earlier, that you can understand that we live in a world where you cannot limit yourself to one field or one domain. If you really want to think creatively and solve complex problems, you need to have a broader 360-degree perspective. And that's why, personally, I've tried always to diversify my learning. So whether through engineering, construction, consulting, leadership, fashion, and even professional development. But when it comes to PMI, since we are part of the PMI community, please allow me to just mention something. PMI gave me two things, actually. When I had my PMP certificate, it allowed me to have a professional growth. And when I was part of this community, it gave me a very strong community. And this helped me in a way or another to structure my career and myself. And they connected me with people that sometimes they share the same passion for project management. And I started my journey here as a VP volunteers, for example, for PMI Lebanon chapter. And here we are today. We learned more about what it feels like to volunteer, to be part of this community. And over time, like you realize that leadership in such a community, it's not about a title, it's about creating an impact, making sure that you have a project success, building the right network, and like helping others to grow together.
Thank you so much, Riam. I really appreciate this. And I've seen this firsthand with you, joining you a couple of times in Lebanon on the ground to see how things are. And I love the part about leadership journey shaped by real world challenge and complex environments. And that's what creates that resilience that you have. Thank you for that. I'm going to move from Levant to the Gulf region. So joining us from the UAE, Amina Abdulrahim, she is the president of the PMI UAE chapter, and she's an executive director of ICT and IT security at the American University of Sharjah. So Amina, if I ask you simply, what shaped your journey into project leadership?
Again, thank you very much for the opportunity today. In fact, my journey started almost 18 years ago through technology and digital transformation. managing different IT landscape in different industries, from construction, facility management, and now lately education sector. And if you are in the technology field, things are moving very fast, and the nature of what we do and the nature of our business is to enable always our customers and our core businesses around the institution. So when I started, I was thinking, how can I make sure that this technology piece is properly integrated seamlessly with the business objectives and strategy? And the only way for me at that time to see this happening is through project management skill sets. So when I started my PMP, 15 years ago, I thought it's a certification and then I will add something new to my CV. But then I realized it's beyond this. It's a skill that you take it for life, whether you use it for your professional career or whether you use it even for your personal life. And as Riam mentioned here, it's also the network part that gives you the ability to understand and learn and evolve through the market. So I was blessed, to be honest, to integrate all the project management skill sets. And I feel like when Hani, you gave me a call for the opportunity, I felt it's a very, very natural extension of the journey. And then it will be also an opportunity for me to give back to the community and emphasize on the importance of such skills to deliver value.
Thank you so much, Amin. And again, you touched on very important points about tying this to the digital transformation, which living with you here in the UAE, that's something that we live day in and day out. And I'm not sure if you'd remember, I remember first time we met and you mentioned shifting from government to education. And in my ear, I was just hearing learning is a key in everything you talked about. And then you talked about next gen, hence why I felt, again, having that tie with the PMI UAE chapter is a key for the success across all the sector that have a lot of younger generation. Thanks for sharing this with us, Amin. I appreciate that. So we're going to move from now the Gulf region to North Africa with Sarah Chitwi, president of the PMI Morocco chapter. And she's a strategic management consultant and infrastructure expert working on transformation initiatives across Morocco. And I've had the blessing and pleasure of being with Sarah on a couple of occasions across Morocco, seeing her in action, how she works across the community. So Sarah, seeing always that excitement when you're working with the community, I'd love to know from you, what brought you to leadership within the PMI community? What made that switch for you? And what makes it always happening with the passion you always have when I see you?
Thank you, Hani. Assalamu alaikum. Really delighted to join fellow chapter presidents for this important conversation. Thank you to all the PMI MENA team, to Hani for the support, for the invitation. And it was great to hear also from Pierre. It was so insightful. Back to the question. So actually, I'm a strategic and operational management senior advisor to the head of government of Morocco and an architect by background. So over more than 20 years of experience. So my journey has taken me from architecture and large infrastructure projects to strategy design and implementation. So monitoring public policies and enhancing, I want to say, the quality of public services in general. So as an architect and infrastructure expert, I spent many years working on complex projects, but I saw firsthand that technical excellence alone is not enough. So that's why I got my certification, my PMP. Then what truly makes projects succeed from my experience is that we need that alignment between strategy, people, and execution. So throughout my journey, I have come to see projects as the place where, as Pierre said, vision becomes reality. And we all share this. They are the bridge between ambition and tangible progress for our organization and more for the societies we live in and for the world. We maximize project success to elevate our world projects by project. So today, my focus is really helping my country translate our national vision 2035 into tangible impact, and also contributing to the development of the project management ecosystem in Morocco through my role as the president of the chapter, because I really believe in that, and that talks to my heart. And we hope we are going all to do a great job to elevate the world.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And I love, again, learning from you every time about Morocco, a place where I thought I would know it, but every time I'm there, I'm opening my ears and eyes of learning about solar power, construction, exporting even human capital across all of Africa, across Europe. So really appreciate all what you bring in. I'm gonna stay in North Africa. We're going from Morocco to Tunisia to Iman Fakhfakh, president of the PMI Tunisia chapter, and the project management consultant and a trainer supporting organizations globally across IT and telecom initiatives. So Iman, if you can tell us briefly also your leadership journey and how you got to where you're at this point.
Hello, عسلامة الناس الكل. Again, also from my side, thank you very much for the invitation and for this opportunity. Well, my leadership journey actually in project management really started with curiosity. Early in my career, I was in telecom and IT sectors. I had the opportunity to work on complex international projects with a diverse team. And that experience showed me that successful projects are not only about methodologies, actually they are much more about people, about the way of thinking. So it's much more complex and much more, how to say, not only methodologies. So, and then when I earned my PMP certification, I also discovered the power of PMI community, which is brought a good value also to my journey. So I joined the PMI Tunisia chapter as a volunteer because I wanted to contribute to developing the project management profession in Tunisia, and also to connect with professionals who share the same passion for delivering impact through projects, etc. So volunteering became a meaningful journey for me, from supporting initiative to serving as VP Communication and Marketing, and eventually being elected president of the chapter. So for me, leading the PMI Tunisia chapter today is really about giving back to community, empowering volunteers, and helping project managers to grow so they can drive transformation in their organization also and in our country. And of course, show somehow or guide somehow, help the Tunisian women also, or in our region, that we can do it. We can progress all together.
Iman, thank you for sharing that with me. And I felt it firsthand again with you and the community. It felt like one big family trying to focus together on how can they push forward and make things better. And thanks to you and Sarah as well, I felt like I thought I knew Arabic until I met you both. And I'm starting to learn it's a new language altogether. But that will be a topic for a different session altogether. So I'll move from Arabic in North Africa to Saudi Arabia with Dr. 𝗪𝗪𝗱𝗪𝗪. She is the president of the PMI Saudi chapter. She's a leader in capability building, digital transformation across government and the educational sector. So Dr. 𝗪𝗪𝗱𝗪𝗪, I would love to hear from you in one question. What shaped your leadership journey across all of these sections? And also if you can share with us part of it with the Vision 2030 of Saudi Arabia that you are part of it.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's happy and it's truly a pleasure to be here today and to participate in this important discussion with such an inspiring group of leaders. So thank you so much. I would like to thank Pierre for this inspiring opening remarks, and for you, Hani, for guiding today's conversation and for coordinating this really great meeting with such great leaders. So first of all, speaking about the leadership journey, so there's maybe certain facets of this experience, starting with as you mentioned and Pierre mentioned, that's the Saudi Vision 2030. It is the North Star for all Saudis for the national transformation experience. So my leadership journey was shaped by leading large national initiatives, whether in education, digital transformation, and workforce development, to be all aligned with the Saudi Vision 2030. Among also the projects within my leadership experience was managing complex portfolios. So I have worked on programs that required coordinating multiple institutions, international partners, and diverse stakeholders. which all came along together to strengthen my strategic approach to project and portfolio leadership. Also, my involvement in international policy, educational initiatives, including global forums, multilateral cooperations, showed me how the project management enables impact beyond borders. So, as Pierre and Hani, you mentioned, and my colleagues, about what kind of impact that you are striving for is the passion for community building. So it is very important. It is key in my mission as a chapter leader is to lead the PMI KSA chapter. To give back to the profession, to help grow a strong ecosystem of project management professionals in the kingdom. Also to empower, as you mentioned, Hani, future leaders. What are we building? What kind of communities that we will build and pass along to other generations? So a key motivation for me is to support the next generation of project managers, or let's say leaders, especially women, to be able to take active roles in delivering national transformation projects, and also to conclude with is that PMI provides a platform to connect knowledge, leadership, and practice. All these together help professionals to contribute effectively to a large-scale initiatives shaping our region.
Dr. Hani, thank you so much for sharing, again, your heartfelt story. And I feel privileged that even in the last trip alone, we'll be together talking about Ministry of Defense or housing or culture in the afternoon with your students. And we're doing counseling and helping that next gen. So I can see it always firsthand. And I love the tie to the vision of the country, because that's our commitment, is to see how we can align our strategy as PMI and with the community, with the country itself. Thank you for sharing your story. Finally, I'm going to go from Saudi Arabia to Jordan, to Nadia Bourcheik, president of the PMI Jordan chapter. She's a consultant in digital transformation. She's a leader with extensive expertise in ERP implementation, smart city initiatives, and government integration programs. And Nadia, one part that I resonated very well from Pierre's message about the next gen when I'm working with you, seeing University of Jordan in your last event alone and the amount of work that you've done with students, seeing leadership with tears in their eyes, seeing their students in 3 to 6 months, not just getting certification with PMI, but actually understanding how to put their foot on the beginning of that road of success. And being with you on that, kudos. I want to just to highlight that before I give you also the same question that, what shaped that journey of yours and your commitment, again, that comes with that to the chapter in Jordan.
Thank you, Hani, for this invitation and for this great opportunity to be here with you today. Thank you for all your team and everyone helped us to be there here today. Actually, my journey in project management started through my work in IT and digital transformation. Over the past 30 years, I have been involved leading and supporting digital transformation initiatives across organizations in Jordan and MENA region. Actually, from the first moment, I quickly realized that successful of a project is not about the technology itself, it's about people, structure, delivering a real value. After I came involved in project management community, I discovered the incredible impact that organizations like Project Management Institute can have in empowering professionals and building strong networks. I started my involvement in PMI Jordan chapter as a volunteer. And over time, I had the opportunity to contribute more in different initiatives and community activities. This experience inspired me to take a greater responsibility and eventually as serving as a chapter president. For me, this role is about giving to community, supporting project professionals, building future leaders, and I will concentrate on this as this is our core objectives to be implemented for this couple of years. And knowledge sharing, this will help and elevate the mindset and maturity of project management in Jordan.
Thank you so much, Nadia. Appreciate it, and I appreciate you giving back to your community. One thing that really resonates from all of you and all of your success is how committed you are to your community, how committed you are to your country, and building that momentum. And for us as PMI, I love the diversity. And if I go back to Pierre's remarks, diversity creates that power for all of us. And all of you share that passion, but also all of you have that commitment to the next gen, which makes me, again, with a big smile, see like, how can I help and how can we as PMI collaborate together on that next step? So for the audience, I could see a lot of chat going on the side as I'm looking at the camera. Feel free to ask questions. There is at the bottom center, I think, of the screen, there is a Q&A. Click in there, ask questions. If you want to direct it to one of the panelists, feel free to mention the name. I will come towards the end and we'll start answering some of these questions, if not all of them. I'm going to move on to the second part of our panel, and I'd like to title this Leading Through Disruption. So let's talk about resilience, which is something that resonated from some of you. Our region has experienced economic shifts, geopolitical complexity, rapid transformation, as some of you have put it. And I'd like to put that perspective. I'd like for you to share with me a moment when you had to lead through disruption and what leadership lesson came from that experience. I'd like to start with Riam, since she was the first person that mentioned that. Riam, I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, one thing that you learn in Lebanon is that projects, they rarely happen under normal circumstances. So for us, resilience is not a skill, it's a practice. It's a day-to-day practice. So for example, over the years, you always had to operate constantly in an agile mode because the environment is constantly changing. We're talking about something that is economical, political, and even social. And in many places, managers rely heavily on stable conditions and support from governments. Nevertheless, again, in Lebanon, we don't have this. And we learn the best plan is that you have to always take care of the people and the team that they are with you. And any plan and the best plan can change overnight. And what you learn actually is that when you have a very strong risk management plan and when you have a strategic thinking, you're good to go. You'll be able to learn how to communicate with others. You'll learn how to even to anticipate disruptions, to always have contingency plans with an S, not even one, and to think like multiple solutions instead of having one path. You can have multiple paths. And when you learn with time that dealing with risk becomes almost like your second nature, you develop the ability to stay calm, to adapt quickly, to make decisions even when the environment is uncertain. So you cannot really specify one certain example. Nevertheless, our whole life in Lebanon is based on resilience and is based on how to deal with disruptions no matter what it is.
I love it. I love hearing risk and risk management, more importantly. And I feel like when others ask me about why is risk certification, for example, across our region is much higher, I find it comes from two different sides. One, as you mentioned, we do have to analyze risk much better. Our leadership across all of our countries do recognize that. That's why they look for that certification as part of the portfolio. But also change of plans overnight, 100% agree. Who's the calmest person in the room usually is a project professional. So couldn't agree more with you on that. Thank you, Riam, for sharing that story. I'm going to move with the same question from Riam to Sarah from Morocco to hear her side as well.
That's a very important question because when we talk about resilience, it touches the heart of leadership today. So resilience for me, it's not about resistant challenges. It's about transforming the constraints into opportunities for collective progress. So one example comes from leading PMI Morocco chapter during periods where we were on probation and we had very limited resources, but very high ambitions for our community. So instead of focusing on constraints, we choose to mobilize the strength of our volunteer network, of our community. We redesigned and our initiatives. We were not sticking to the plans, the action plan. We took the risk, but we succeed to mobilize our network, our volunteers. And the lesson I learned is that resilience and leadership comes from clarity of purpose and trust in people. This is very important. And when the vision is clear and the community feels part of the mission, even limited resources can generate extraordinary impact. So this is an example I wanted to share with you. Don't limit yourself. and don't think about resilience as a constraint, but see it as an opportunity.
100%. Every challenge comes with an opportunity, Sahar, and I love your approach on that, especially in project management. I'm going to move from Morocco back to the UAE where I live, and we'll hear from Amina the same thing, and I'd love to hear from you about, again, leading through disruption, whether that could be in the government where you were before or now in the educational sector, which I feel is full of that.
So, I mean, I can only add to the ladies here, but for me, at least, there are three main principles to achieve resilience. First is to have very, very clear strategy, and then that is cascaded to everyone. And that strategy should not be developed when there is let's say, a disaster or there is something that we need to react to. It should be part of the organization, and it should be organic and native to the organization itself, so people feel comfortable to act. The second one is empowering teams, because you cannot do anything alone, and project management teaches you this. You have to empower your team, you have to cascade tasks, and you need to give people some autonomy, you know, when difficult times are approaching. And maybe the last thing for me as well is building some sort of resilient systems around you, be it as you mentioned, the risk frameworks, or be it proper escalation methodology that allows you to be resilient. This is maybe, I can call it a pre-math, you know, when you know there is something coming, you know how to act. And then I'm not going to go very far. I will give recent example. You know, I think everyone knows in the UAE, we are not in a very, let's say, certain situation. And the latest hit was one of our main cloud service providers that we depend on locally had some sort of a backlash. So instead of panicking, instead of taking things in a let's say panic mode, because of the three principles that I highlighted right now, we were able to react, we were able to bring the services in no time because things were clear. So I like to be proactive, but sometimes you need to have all the grounding rules available for you to act. And this is your responsibility as a leader. You have to plan for these situations. So transformational project in nature, maybe not only in IT, and even business transformation projects required connecting people, culture, systems, governance, and this is an everyday job. And that's why I always say we since morning we are joking with the team, like it's business as usual for us, you know, even with all the things that's happening around us, because we have built this ecosystem around us.
I love that, business as usual, and I love the disruption that we have. It only shows how resilient we are, but also one key word I'm hearing from all of you is not just the resilience, adaptable in project management. And I think that's one key, is like, how can we as project managers, how you mentioned before, be calm and be adaptable, be able to focus, and communication. This is the part where you empower your team to come back to you and tell you, well, here's I'm going to bring the elephant in the room. Here is the issue. Here is my solution of that issue, and here is an action that we can take. Thank you, Amina, for sharing this. And again, bless you. I know the stories, and I know what happened in the last week or so, and glad to see that you're still smiling, still moving forward, and all of us would be. So I'm going to slightly now shift a little bit about women in leadership, and across the industries that we have in women stepping into leadership roles within project management. So let's bring kind of three additional perspectives. I would like to start with Dr. Tihany. Dr. Tihany, if you can share with me, what progress have you seen, and where do you still need to see more acceleration of change across Saudi Arabia, basically, for that?
Thank you so much for this question. It's very important, especially as we are celebrating the Women's International Day today. So I can see that significant progress is happening across our region for women empowerment. So we're seeing more women leading projects and the initiative level of their organizations. So in project management in specific, I can see that women are increasingly moving beyond participation to the leading role, and it's leading complex programs, transformation initiatives, and national and international strategies as well. So they are very active participants in the national and international landscape. So here I believe the representation at the top still, I believe we also need to accelerate the transition from the talent to executive leadership roles. I believe mentorship and sponsorship are very critical for women leaders. So it will enable them to actively support and sponsor the next generation to ensure more women step very confidently into the leadership position. I feel also that we need to normalize the diverse leadership styles. So leadership roles needs not to follow one traditional model, but to include different perspectives and strengthen project outcomes and organizational resilience as well. So the opportunity ahead, the opportunity is there. The future of project leadership will depend on diverse, inclusive teams, and also to empower women to lead. This will be very essential to delivering complex transformation in our region, and it will be very, very important in the future.
Thank you, Dr. Tahani. And I feel honored. I've seen some of that progress in my year in travel in Saudi Arabia, and seeing it tells me that we are on the right track to make a difference. So the same question about, again, the progress that you're seeing, women stepping into leadership roles within the project management. I'm going to ask Nadia to take the floor for, again, 2 minutes.
Yeah, actually in Jordan, I've seen more women stepping into project management and leadership roles. Driving impactful initiatives across both private and public sectors. At PMI Jordan chapter, we've empowered women through volunteering and leadership opportunities, which has strengthened our local community. Yet there's still room to accelerate change by creating more leadership pathways, fostering inclusive work environments, and ensuring women's votes are heard and represented in decision-making. I believe when women lead, the entire community benefits.
Couldn't agree more. And again, this is what I love about our diversity from a region, is we can all help each other and learn from what worked and what did not work. So thank you, Nadia, for sharing that. I'm going to move from Nadia to Iman in Tunisia with the same question.
Yes, actually, over the past years, I've been very, very, very encouraging. I've seen very encouraging progress. More women are not only participating in projects, actually, but also leading complex initiatives, managing strategic portfolios, and influencing decision-making. In the project management community, we also see more women stepping into visible leadership roles, which is very inspiring for the next generation. And you can see here, all the chapter presidents of the region are great women. So this is inspiring for the next generation. Through the work of the PMI Tunisia chapter and the broader PMI community, we are seeing also stronger engagement from women professionals who want to grow, lead, and contribute to sharing the profession. However, we still need to accelerate change in 2 areas from my perspective. The first would be increasing women's representation in senior leadership and strategic project roles. And the second would be continuing to build supportive ecosystems, mentorship, sponsorship, and visibility, so that talented women feel empowered to step forward and lead. Because as I will continue on what Nadia said earlier, because when women lead projects, they are not only delivering outcomes, actually, they are also opening doors to the next generation of leaders. And this is, from my side, this is one of my main targets.
Thank you so much for sharing this, Iman. And since we're talking about giving back to that next generation advice, I'd like to highlight something that's very important. I've seen it firsthand working with all of you, whether when you were part of the PMI chapter or before then. I find women leaders often balance multiple roles across their careers, their families, their community, and these are all big responsibilities. And you manage to somehow juggle all of this I had the blessing being with Sarah for the community event and having to pick up her son, but then we had to go back and fill the bags and get things ready for the community. I'm like, how do you manage this? So I'm going to start with Sarah, of asking you, what advice do you give other women leading all these fronts, and how can they put those priorities together? Sarah, she's on mute.
Mute.
First priority, unmute. There you are.
So I would share three things. So first, we have to be intentional about our purpose. That gives us clarity of the purpose. And then when we are clear about what we want to contribute to, it becomes easier to navigate. This is first thing. If you want to navigate complexity, just know your purpose, be intentional about it. Second, you have to build a supportive ecosystem. Your family first, you have to have a supportive ecosystem, whether your husband, your children, also your environment, and also try to find mentors, peers, and other communities where they can help you during your leadership journey, because as you know, leadership is never a solitary journey. The third advice is you have to accept something. Balance is dynamic. At different moments in life, priorities evolve. Now, not at different moments in life, priorities evolve. Every day, your priorities will evolve, and you have to accept that, and accept that is perfectly normal, and do with it. So women often carry many responsibilities, but sincerely, from my experience, that's help us to develop adaptability, emotional intelligence, and resilience, which are really very powerful leadership strengths.
Bless you. I love that. I love the advice to the next gen. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Amina, the same question, and bless you. I've been with you a number of times face to face, and I've seen how you are at your office, literally managing everything at once with a smile on your face and calm. So I'd love to hear from you how you manage this personally, and if you can put it in a way where, again, you for the participants with us who are learning to get into that field, how can they continue that momentum?
So I just, whatever Sarah said is something that I believe everyone should take seriously, you know. I mean, balance is a dynamic word. But maybe a couple of advices from my side. I think one of the strengths or one of the key supporting system is to have the right team around you. So make sure that you are not. We need support system outside let's say our working environment, but to make our life easier and to make sure that we are able to deliver is focus on selecting the correct individuals working with you on a daily basis, even if it means that you need to hire someone better than you in certain positions, which is completely fine. Surround yourself with those type of leadership. I'm so blessed, and maybe this is a shout out to my team. You know, I'm blessed to have the right team around me, be it my direct support reportees or the entire team within American University of Sharjah. So this is key. The other thing as well is, as ladies, we usually, and I'm serious about this, we usually shrink ourselves because we are ladies. So I would advise everyone to do not shrink to fit a room. Don't do this. Bring it all. Bring all your skills. Bring all your capacity. Make sure that your soft skills that we all have as ladies, you know, be it empathy, be it caring, be it giving our maximum, is part of your daily. And this is why I'm keeping the smile every single day, because I don't feel I'm under pressure to maybe eliminate some of my character because I want to be in a leadership position. And it's okay if we practice different leadership style based on the situation. So these are maybe the two advices that I give directly to everyone around me. Maybe the third one, for me, is it's maybe a personal responsibility is to lift other women along the way with me. So I want to make sure that everyone around me, not necessarily ladies, everyone around me, but I'm maybe giving more focus to ladies or to the women community, because you can see technically you don't have yet enough women And then this is our role, as leadership, is to bring the capacity building and make sure that we are mentoring and sponsoring many people around us. So maybe this is 3 advices from my side.
I love it. I love the team building part, and again, I felt that when we met a number of times, and I'm glad to hear it to the rest of the participants. Can I take the same question to Dr. Tihanny, if he can also spend 2 minutes with us, sharing us juggling the balls, how I mentioned it. How do you handle that?
Thank you so much. Actually, I feel that my colleagues, they covered it all. They mentioned very important skills that every woman need to nurture and develop. But adding a few ones, especially by using the word juggling, Hani, it is multitasking. It's lots of efforts and expectations from everyone, from the family, from work. So instead, I believe a woman should, instead of trying to do everything perfectly, she needs to focus on aligning her time, energy with what matters most on each or at stage of each stage of life or mission or tasks. So women need to focus on high impact decisions and outcomes rather than trying to manage every detail. So she sometimes need to see the full picture here and there, and manage her time. Also, my colleagues mentioned the certain skills, but I believe always working on your skills, sometimes going for professional development opportunities, working to improve the expertise, sometimes learning the skills in how to navigate both the professional and the personal responsibilities is very important as well. I believe career and life journeys are not linear, so flexibility and self-awareness are key to sustaining the long-term leadership role. So I believe this is very important for women to lead authentically and work within the constraints of being a woman, mother, and other duties and her professional duties.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hani, and appreciate how you brought again different perspective on that. With 8 minutes left, I'd like to give some of the audience to hear from them. So I'm going to start with the first question, and Riam, if you can unmute, I'm going to pass this your way. So be ready for the first question coming to you. Is how to handle resistance in a project, although resilience is existing in the project itself.
I would say, Hani, the most important thing is to learn how to listen and to how to properly communicate with others. You have to understand when you're working with a team that every single team member has its own psychology and its own understanding and perspective about the project and the life and the choices, and you have all this pressure around us. So whenever you want to deliver success, you have to understand how to talk to people, how to reach out to them, to show empathy, to show that you truly listen, not by just like listening randomly. Active listening, be there, be supportive. And when it comes to any team member who makes like a certain mistake, you have to make them understand that it's okay to fail. We are here to learn, and this is how we grow as a team. And the second part is, no matter how resilient we are, we cannot act in silos. We need to understand that resilience, sometimes it's about a community that is standing by each other and continuing to support each other in order to deliver. And when we're talking about delivery, it's not about project success. Even like in life, we need to use this.
Thank you, Riam. I'm going to ask Nadia for the next question. If you think about the next generation of project managers in the region, what mindset or capability do you believe will matter most? I'll give you 60 seconds.
I would appreciate if you repeat the questions again.
Sure. If you think about the next generation of project managers, what is the capability that you think will mean the most for them?
Yeah. Beyond delivering projects, actually, I truly believe that our roles as leaders is to build the next generation of leaders, to focus strongly and empower young professionals and women through mentorship, volunteering opportunities, partnership with academic and youth communities. actively engagement of these students or youth and early career professionals by introducing them to project management through workshops, community initiatives, and leadership opportunities. Also involving women in this part of activities and leadership opportunities. I would love also to concentrate on the women for this side, that one barrier I would like to see disappear from the next generation, especially for women, is the hesitation of self-doubt when stepping into leadership roles.
So thank you. I'm going to move to Sarah. Sarah, here's a question for you. I want to ask, what are the biggest challenges that are anticipated and confronted in project generally during these uncertain times? If you can give us 60 seconds take on that.
It was lagging a little bit. Can you just repeat?
Sure. Ask about the biggest challenge that are anticipated and confronted in project generally, or in projects generally during these uncertain times. So back again to disruption and the biggest challenge that you could face.
Yeah, I will come back to what I developed earlier about the resilience, because now we are all managing either our lives or our work in a complex environment. So there are rarely, in these conditions, there are really simple questions, simple answers to that. So what matters most is the clarity, again, of purpose, what I said, and the ability to mobilize people around the purpose. And I will add also that, leadership becomes meaningful when it creates opportunities for others to grow and contribute. And I think this is my point about that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sarah. Now, with 3 minutes left, I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds. I'd love in 30 seconds, I'm going to start with Iman. 30 seconds, give us one line or one word you want to leave the participants with today. Iman, putting you on the spot. You're on mute.
So, sorry for that. For the ladies, for sure, I will say, go ahead, go ahead. Whatever it is, go ahead. Be curious, be yourself. Don't reduce your potential. You are strong and you will be stronger. So go ahead. For all of us, also the gentlemen, you are a great support for us. So let's do things better together.
Thank you, Iman. I'm going to ask the same question to Amina.
Yeah, I will try as much as possible to be realistic in this. I think at any point of time, especially at early career, people will not feel certain. They will feel like they are not yet aware or not yet sure what they will do for their, rest of their career. It's okay. People are sometimes being harsh on themselves by saying, I need to know what I need to do from today. Keep on exploring. Make sure that you are always surrounded by the right people. And this is my message to all of you. That's why we have a community like PMI, because you will be always supported by the right people. So leverage on this and make sure that you keep on exploring and evolving with time.
Thank you, Amina. I'm going to move to Riam. Same question. 30 seconds.
I would say trust your capabilities, continue learning. Do not hesitate to pursue opportunities that seem challenging. It's okay to have overwhelming emotions and feelings, but you're not allowed to be weak. And finally, this is something I always say to myself, if you cannot do it, no one can. You are your own support, and go pursue the stars. So that's it.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Sarah?
I would say let's continue investing in people, in knowledge, in collaboration, because this way we are not going to deliver only initiatives, but only we will shape the future of our societies.
Thank you, Sarah. Nadia?
Yeah, leading projects during times of uncertainty requires staying focused. So I will ask every one of us to stay focused, adaptable, and provide stability for their teams, even when priorities shift or lack of resources.
Thank you. And finally, with Dr. Tehani.
this meeting is the real success for our generation of leaders will be when the next generation of women sees leadership as a natural path. And there's no ceilings of whatever materials above their heads in the future.
Thank you so much. Again, we are at the top of the hour. And before we close, I just want to thank our panelists for the heartfelt stories that they shared with us. I want to thank Pierre once again for his heartfelt remarks that he started this whole conversation with. Your leadership, everyone, your openness, your commitment to strengthen the profession across Middle East and North Africa is truly inspiring to myself, starting with, and to the participants seen all on the chat, and the hearts and the likes are coming everywhere. To everyone who joined us tonight, thank you for spending part of your evening with us in the Ramadan conversation. And leadership conversation like this one remind us that project management is not only about delivery outcomes, it's about people, it's about resilience, and the communities that we build together. Ramadan Mubarak and Kareem to all of you, and early Eid Mubarak to those who will be celebrating on Thursday or Friday. I look forward to seeing you once again in the next webinar after the holidays. Have a great one. Good night. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Eid Mubarak. Thank you.
Bye.